Hi, I'm going to talk to you about the tool called Writeabout. It's awesome for especially English classrooms if your students aren't really engaged in writing or they don't get a lot of practice with it for whatever reason. Um, Basically what it is just a tool where you can go on, set up your own prompts or use other prompts using text and image, and then your students can go on and write as much as they want. So just briefly, I'm just going to go over these functions that it has because I will show you later how to use the site, and I don't want to duplicate information. So you can provide prompts for writing practice, create your own, or use others. There's both galleries and ideas. You can keep yours there. You can search other teachers. You can provide feedback for your students. Other students can also provide feedback for their peers. You can track student progress. There's a number of different ways I'll show you later, and you can allow collaboration within your class but also amongst other communities that are set up already in Writeabout. There's tons of privacy settings, so you can set that up the way that you want. You can encourage your students to write in online communities. There's also ways that they can just kind of keep their own writing going. And lastly, you can display any posts that you've created or your students or you found elsewhere in a sort of public feed. Okay, so in terms of creating a web-based learning tool, Writeabout offers collaboration. So the student can work, like I said, in an environment that you've set up, so within your classroom, within your school, or they can branch out and they can collaborate with others. This just helps them sort of develop their writing skills because they can read others' responses, think about the ideas that they put in, but it also gives them the opportunity to revise and edit their work. So others are looking at peer responses and saying, okay, this is awesome, but I think you need to maybe change this or incorporate this, and everyone's working together. So the student develops independently by collaborating with others. In terms of personalization, Writeabout allows you to develop prompts in the way that you want to. So I have Let's Begin Task highlighted in green because this is more of a face-to-face interaction that is relatable for students. If you're saying do task number 1, it's more of an order, it's more of a demand. If the student feels like the conversation or the instructions are engaging for them and they're welcoming, then they're more likely to complete the task. If it's more an order or a demand, they're less likely to feel engaged in the learning process and may not complete the task at all or to the standard that you want them to. And Vygotsky's social development theory, with Writeabout, you're able to sort of set up tasks for the student, and you can set them up either independently per student or as a group, so you can see sort of what your student can do on their own and what the student cannot do, and then you can sort of decide, okay, where does this student fall in this zone of proximal development, and once you establish that, then you can act as the more knowledgeable other, so someone who has more experience with writing, and you can help that student get to a higher point of progress of where they can work independently. So I'll just show you really quickly what Writeabout is like. So here's their homepage. Actually, sorry, this is just the opening page. When you go to the website, on their homepage, there's 8 different little links here. You can click through to get more information. I will just show you briefly some of the stuff that they have that I would like to highlight. So here is a prompt that I created. You can input any picture of your own or one that you found online. You just have to cite it if you are using someone else's work. And then you can answer or put a question or a prompt that you would like there for your students to respond to. You can put tags that have to do with this topic that you've created. Like I said, you can go into ideas or galleries. Ideas has many posts similar to the one I just showed you with the dog. They're just single ideas or prompts that you can choose from that you can add so that your students can respond to them. Whereas galleries, and this will allow your students to have some sort of choice. If you say, okay, I want you to go into the gallery, GRA fish in a tree, then they can go through here and select one of these and write on whatever they want. Posts, this is what a post would look like. So if you go on a post, this is just sort of a public feed. You can click on them, you can read them, you can also comment on them. So your students, this looks like it's been commented on by other people. You can comment however you want. Okay, so your students can do that with each other. You can have them sort of group together in your class so they only work in your class of students. Then we have students. So right now I don't have any students, but if you go manage students, you can add students, you can create groups like I've mentioned before. And one more thing, or two more things I'm going to show you. Curriculum. So if you know that your student is having difficulties with a specific topic in writing, you can go through here, select something, recommend it for them, and they can get help with it by reviewing things here. And you can keep track of your students under the My Stats bar. So for each student, they'll have this student summary beside their newsfeed, and then they'll have all of these different charts here that will just kind of plot information about their progress using this tool. Okay, so that is Write About, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thank you.